Welcome back to the Channel Strip, where we channel our energy into learning new things and strip away negative misconceptions. I've been away and I've been learning, and I've been working and I've been taking days off, but I've been learning, and I'm back in 4K, baby. So, what are we doing in this video? Right, okay, so I've been thinking about my orchestral styles, how to write, and how to get better. And one thing about orchestration is that it's a very technical concept, it's a very technical subject, and a lot of people spend years learning how to do this and how to do this right. So I've been taking courses, and I'll put some links in the description box on what I've been learning and how I've been growing and challenging myself to do better. But one topic that I've come across that is fundamental but difficult is ranges of orchestration, ranges of instruments, and where to put what and where. Now we've got the spectral tone chart where it tells you, clarinets here, basses here, and sort of how to pan things, and you can mimic that. But also we've got sort of the technical instruments themselves, like where should a clarinet be? Where should a bass be? Am I, G to F? Am I F to G? Where am I on my whole sort of, let's say, piano scale? And that can be very hard and challenging if you're like me and just getting into the space. So I have come up with a simple sketch of how to get this done in a very simple way. In fact, it's possibly simplistic and maybe even oversimplistic, but it will get you started because, like I said, it's a hard topic. And a lot of people have said you just get this over time, but if you're like me, you want a cheat system, you want a cheat score, you want a system in your head of what to do, and I want to say the safe zone of where to score. That's what this video is going to provide for us. It's going to provide us a chance to know where is the safe zone. I'm going to be using a two-handed technique where we use our hands, and I'm so bad with left and right? But anyway, this is my right hand and this is my left hand, and we're going to think about each instrument in terms of left and right hand, and where does my instrument play the best? What is the safe zone? What's the safe range with my instrument? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take like 4 families, and we're going to apply this technique. Now I know that you can Google this online. You can Google what is the range of the B flat clarinet, or what is the range of the saxophone, or what is the range of the, you can Google this. So this technique is to help you put that information in your head. So I'm going to show you 4 families, like I've said, and then it's up to you guys to take it from there and apply it to whatever instrument you're playing. I think it's pretty simple. So let's jump right into that video, guys. I'm so happy to see you guys here. So I want you to think about this in 2 for strings. And when I say hand, what hands am I? From the piano perspective, if you're a pianist or a keyboard player, we number our hands, our thumb as number 1, right? Thumb is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. But from the way I've explained it here, because the image is more or less this way, the image is looking this way, and what I've done is I've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is correct for this hand, but then when I get here, I go 6, right? Just for clarity, okay? And because I'm so bad in my left and right, I've actually numbered it here. I've labeled accordingly, so I know I refer here to my right hand, but on the screen it's labeled left hand, and right hand is labeled accordingly. So we're doing it correctly from the screen's point of view, okay? Just for simplicity's sake. So what you want to do is you want to take each instrument. First instrument, violin, okay? The strings. Okay, so in the string family, the first instrument we're going to take here is a violin. Now, if you search it up on Google, you see that the violin is ranging from a G3 to an E7. So basically how this system works is you just want to have a safety zone in your head, okay? So if you take violin, G3 to E7. For the purposes of this video and getting comfortable with ranges for your orchestral instruments, we don't care, okay, about the G or the E or E flat. We don't care. We're just thinking about the safe zone. Doesn't matter if it's an F. It doesn't matter if you end up playing an E flat 3 and then you go to D7. It's just finicky information that is just maybe not going to make an overall big difference in your score. The main thing is that you want to know that you're playing from 3, so not going to go play a bass in the 0 or the 1 ranges to a 7, not going all the way to a 9. So in your head, all you care about when it comes to violin is 3 to 7. This is how I'm approaching this because, again, as the years go by, as you get better at this, you can then begin to get more finicky about where you want to be exactly. So Going from a 3 to a 7 for violin, you can see on my screen here how I sort of number these things out. So all I'm going to think about when I'm on the violin, this is easier to memorize, I think. Finger 3 to 7. So this is where I'm playing on the keyboard when I'm scoring, when I'm inserting my MIDI notes. This is the range I'm in, 3 to 7, okay? And then violin, then 3 to 6, okay? Cello, then that's bass, okay? So we know this. We know this is a bass instrument, so we're going to be on our left hand. So really, step one is identifying, is my instrument on the right hand or is my instrument on the left hand? That alone will get you, I say it's going to get you 70% of the way, okay? So if you just said, okay, double bass, cello, those are bass instruments, they're on my left, okay? And I know I'm pointing to my right hand right now, but they're on my left, okay? As per this picture goes down my left. So I'm thinking, okay, that's 2 to 5. So when I'm scoring, that's the end of the keyboard that I'm on. Okay, so I know that I'm in my safe zone. And then when you want to tidy it up, then you want to go a bit further. So step 2 then is identifying where on the left are you in. So for cello, we're in 2 to 5. So that's basically, if we go, this is my 1, because I set thumb is 1. So we're here to here. So, this is the range that I'm playing in, 2 to 5. Okay, and my double bass, I'm in 1 to 4. Okay, and you can start to see how if you're painting an orchestral score, that's going to sound really nice to get, aren't they? Because if you're on the cello and you're playing 2 to 5 in terms of ranges, how best to complicate how best to complement that than to go 1 to 4 with a double bass, and how you can see how layering can work so nicely together there, because they're on different ranges. You can start a bit lower with the double bass and then sort of just find that nice range for the cello. And so that's how we're going to think about strings. What's my left? What's my right? And how can I suppose, get the full balance and the full benefit of my 10 fingers is how I want to think about this. So I'm thinking violin here, crosses a little bit over, okay. Viola, sort of a little bit more middle, 3 to 6. It's kind of getting both ends. And this is a great way to understand the palette and the choices. So if you're thinking, okay, so 3 to 6 for viola, that's very nice. But I've lost some here and I've lost some here. Why don't I get something that covers the three the 1 to 3, okay, up on the upper ends, and then the 1 to 2 or the 1 to 4 in the lower ends. And that's how you can start to mix things together and get that sweet palette. And you're getting an instrument in every range and you're filling out the orchestral range as a whole. So again, you may then choose that I'm not gonna fill in that say the way viola is 3 to 6. I'm not gonna fill that in with a string. I'm gonna pick another color of the instrument. I'm gonna pick, say, the woodwinds, and I'm gonna pick an instrument that's more sort of in the lower end of a woodwind, and that's going to complement my viola in this section of the music. And that's how we use ranges. It's not just some weird formula that you just ream off by heart or you somehow pick up after years of experience. There is I suppose, a reason and a why to why it works best this way. And this is my cheat system because I find that this is more pictorial for me to understand and simplistic for me to pick up. That's why I'm doing it this way. So if we move on then to the brass instruments, again, I'm keeping it simple. Brass hummingbird, I have 4 instruments in my brass, so let's just zoom in there. Okay, so you can see the trumpet's an interesting instrument because we've got B flat trumpets, we've got C trumpets, and again F sharp. Doesn't matter. Point is, trumpet is 3 to 6 as well, matching very nicely with matching very interestingly with my viola. So trumpet and viola, you can play around with that. They're in the same range. Then you're thinking, okay, could I complement them or should I avoid them because they're taking up the same place there? And is that going to sound cloudy? Depending on the score, obviously we've heard music that has both. So I'm not going to say don't. I'm just going to say it's something to think about. And you can see again tuba, trombone, 1 to 4, drum again. And you can see with the trumpets, there's not a lot of, apart from the trumpet, sorry, with the brass, there's not a lot of things going on that right hand side there. So it's very heavy on 3 to 6. We've got a bunch of stuff in the left hand in the bass region. Going 1 to 4, 2 to 4, 1 to 5 with the tuba, trombone, and horn. There's quite a lot there. But then trumpet, it's kind of on its own. So what other brass instruments are, more in the 1 region in terms of the upper regions to the 5? What other instruments could you put in there? Quick Google search will give you the answer to that and will help you think about your palette in a more simplistic, open way. Now the woodwinds I sort of split into one and two because there's quite a lot of instruments and I don't want my hands to get cluttered. But you can see that again on the left hand side with the bass instruments, you've got the bass clarinet, the bassoon, and the contrabassoon, like beautiful instruments. Bassoon and contrabassoon, beautiful, but the contrabassoon drags quite a lot. Okay, so I have a keyboard at hand right now, but it drags quite a lot. It's gonna slow you down. You can't do a lot of notes. It's not very rhythmic. You know, it's carrying the tone. So you probably have, I don't know, two notes in there, you know, a one and a two, and you wouldn't have a whole run, say, with a contrabassoon because it's a very draggy instrument, but it's a beautiful dark instrument and it will really fill that up really nicely for you. But that's again, that's a 0 to 3, and that's the first instrument that we've spoken about today. That's a 0 to 3. So thinking about that, that's a nice color to have. If you've got a nice contrabassoon there, that is lovely to have to put in. But the beauty about the woodwinds is, remember I said, you know, the right hand instruments, we didn't have quite a lot of that in the brass. We didn't have quite a lot of that in the strings, but piccolo is one of them instruments that will go up the range for you with a 5 to 8. It will go up the range. It will sound very nice. So will the clarinets. They move up the range very nicely and they sound very nice when they're bright. So knowing that means you can explore those options. Your English horn as well, your oboe, your flute. They're all sort of like, I'm not going to say a piano instrument, but they've got quite a lot of range to them, and you can play around with them. And they sound nice in their upper registers. They do. So they don't sound squeaky and sort of nasally like the string sections would when they start to get, you know, the string sections, they sound very nice in their band middle. And they don't sound too good on either extremes. They really don't, unless you know how to play well with them, you know. But the woodwinds, they have a very nice beauty and they stand out on the upper register. So that's something you can really manipulate, okay, and you can really use. Now, guys, that brings me to the end of this video. So I more or less just talked through the strategy. I want to repeat it. Step one, what hand am I on? Is this a right hand instrument? Is it a left hand instrument? With the strings, it's not really left or righty. It's more spanning more nicely like a rainbow over the two. And your soft spot, well, your safe zone, that's somewhere in the half zone. Okay, so if you're thinking 3 to 6 for viola, you're thinking maybe somewhere around the 4 5. That's the sweet spot in the half, in the middle register there. That's what's gonna sound the best for that instrument. But when it comes to something like the woodwinds, you can play around with the upper registers and you can get something really nice out of that. So play around with that. So is it left or right hand? Is it spanning both ranges? And what number am I working with here? Am I 1 to 4? Do I have a lot of room to play around? If it's 1 to 4, no, you don't really. It's just 1 to 4. But is it a 3 to 7? You know, a 5 to 8? Okay, then you can sort of push your extremes and see what you can do with that. But really, this is to give you an idea when you're scoring to do this quickly. This is not a professional approach to doing things, and it's not going to give you all the limitations of again, with music there is a limitation, right? It's knowing the rules so you know how to break them, right? So it's just going to give you a starting ground. It's going to challenge the misconception that you can't somehow understand arrangements in a simplistic way. And that's what I presented to you today, guys. I hope that it helps someone and that it makes sense and that this is not just something that only my brain can somehow comprehend. I hope that it helps somebody out there and it explains it to them nicely. Challenge me in the comments. Let's discuss this. Let's think about ways of, am I bonkers? Did I mess up the whole thing and is this just completely wish-washy nonsense? Let me know what you think. Maybe be nice about it though, but let me know, and so that we can sort of tease it out a little bit further. And if it makes sense, then maybe I can do another video and sort of reflect on what people are telling me. And if not, then look, if one person can learn from this, then I'm happy out. So thanks again for joining us on the channel strip. Joining me on the channel strip. I hope that you channel your energy into learning something new and strip away negative misconceptions. That's it, my favorite.